Hey fellow Star Citizens, Scrapchat here. Today I thought we'd go over how to drive Star Citizen ground vehicles, which may sound kind of silly unless you're new to the game. When I first started playing, I wanted to try rock mining, so after running a bunch of delivery missions, I made enough credits to rent a Cutlass Black and a rock. Imagine my surprise the first time I drove the rock off of the pad to load it into the Cutlass. Let me explain. Suppose you decided you wanted to go to buy a Happy Meal at McDonald's. You'd back out of your driveway, drive down the street and stop. Make a right turn, drive down the road and make a stop. Then make a left turn onto a two-lane highway with a bunch of other cars. After a couple of miles, you veer off onto an off-ramp and pull into McDonald's, finding a parking space. Now imagine doing all of that with no brakes and no ability to adjust your speed. You are always building up to full throttle. That's what driving in Star Citizen is like. For those of you who are newer to Star Citizen and have not driven a ground vehicle, this video is for you. If you've been around a while and consider yourself the Richard Petty of PTV drivers, feel free to drop a comment below. Okay, so I'm out here on Hurston. I'm going to be using my Ballista as an example vehicle for driving purposes. So let's get to it. It's really windy today too out here. I already had to use one of my med pens from falling out, so I'll be really careful even just getting in. There we go. Okay. I'm even going to leave the door open. I don't care. So to begin with, the keybinds on your vehicle are actually pretty much identical to what you have on your ship. So if you're familiar with how to what keys work with your ship, you'll pretty much be okay with the vehicle. So to start her up, I'm just going to press R to power up the vehicle. Awesome. And just like your normal ship, if you press I, you'll turn off your engines. Like that. Or turn them back on. Like that. Okay, so other things you do have access to also is lights, which we obviously don't need here. I kind of wanted it to be a nice, well, reasonably nice day today. But L for lights. There we go. And then L again turns them off. And then we have also, you notice, let's do camera view. And then you could do, hold down the Z key and you can orbit around, which is very helpful. You can also press Alt-O to open, Alt-0 to open and close doors. So if you're carrying around passengers, it's just easier for you sometimes just to open the doors and let everybody out. And then of course, make sure they're all closed when everybody's out or in. Alright, and then to turn left, you use the A key. See, my little wheels are turning there. And then to turn to the right, you use the D key. And it turns a little bit there. There we go. And then to move forward, we use the W key. Again, very similar to your ship. And then S to reverse. So far, nothing really difficult. The hard part comes in with really just moving forward. It's not as prevalent with the Ballista because the Ballista is not that fast, but it had some other features I wanted to show off with vehicles just to make sure you're aware of them. But like the fact that it has doors. Not all vehicles, like the PTV does not have doors on it, so I couldn't show you that. But some of the vehicles move crazy fast, and it is very difficult to maneuver with. So we're not going to have that problem as much with the Ballista, but still, especially when we have to do tight maneuvers, you will. But we'll kind of just go over, pretend this is a very fast-moving vehicle. So normally when you press W, you know, you would go full blast, and right now it's not too bad with, like I said, with the ballista. But with a PTV, you would be uncontrollable. You move at uncontrollable speeds. So let me try. And we're going to back up. And we're going to turn right and back up. There we go. I'm going to try and find a nice straightaway here I can move down. This is part of the problem with most terrain. There's really no place where you can move flat out. And if you try doing that, you're going to end up hitting a rock. I mean, and Hurston has these little low rocks here like that, which don't look much, but you know, if you hit it with like a PTV at full speed, you'll go flying. Let's see if I can get it going here. So without brakes and no way to moderate your speed, you know, it's going to be a problem. Not so much for, like I said, for this vehicle, but to help moderate, what you do is you press till you get to the speed you like, and then let go, and then it'll slow down. Then you speed up again, and you let go, and you really do need it for navigating tight areas like what I'm doing here. If I want to get between, I do a lot of pressing W key and releasing. Pressing W key and releasing to try and navigate without running into anything. So that's really the big takeaway here, I think, for driving. That's what drove me crazy with like the rock, trying to, because the rock especially can be pretty fast, and that can be very difficult to navigate with. Also, something else, if you notice, I'm in camera view mode. Generally, the only time I'm like this is when I need to know where I'm going, what direction I'm going. Like, for instance, there's my A2 over there. If I'm trying to get back to a specific spot, I might pop back into the cockpit and look to see where the spot is I'm trying to get to. If it's a ship or if it's a bunker, you know, I'll make sure that I'm still kind of in line with it, going in the general correct direction. But most of the time I'm out here just like this. In fact, I'm exactly like this. It just makes it easier to see the terrain around me, know what to expect. You don't really get that from the cockpit, I don't think. So as you can see, we're approaching the see my A2. Yeah, I think I see it on there. So, like I say, you can't really go full blast. You got to be able to navigate lots of little, especially with smaller vehicles like the PTV or the STV. You're not going to be going over anything. If you hit any small debris or rock, you're going to go flying. This guy's not so bad. Like, I can go over this big rock here. That's not a problem. But I wouldn't want to go on it over it at full speed, because last thing I want to do is flip this guy. But yeah, camera view is a very big help. And of course, being daytime helps too. Although lights on these things are pretty good. All right, so let me show you how to back this into the A2. I don't really think it matters where I am right now. So, although, you know, before we do the back end, let me show you some other little doodads here. Some of these vehicles have turrets as well, and they work just like turrets on ships. So if you hold on the F key and look for the turret command here, where is it?
A few moments later.
There we go. Enter remote turret. Just click on it. And of course you can't drive while you're doing this, but that can be kind of cool. Very helpful. And then you just press the F key to get out of it, and you're back in the cockpit again. And some vehicles also have, here we go, gun racks. So if you want to have additional guns for your friends, let's bring out my gun here. To use that, just hold down the F key while you're holding the gun, hold down the F key and then click on the word place there. There you go. So you can leave, you know, a couple extra guns in here in case anybody needs one. Alright, let's go open up the A2. Again, be very careful leaving your vehicle because you can't really tell how windy it is outside. There we go. And most of the time I actually back my vehicles in just because wherever it is we're going. Oh man, did I land on something? What is that? Huh. Oh, I guess that's the elevator. I guess it never went up. Anyway, let's get the front door open. There's a button. Way up there. Alrighty. Now, of course, I managed to park right in front of this big rock, which is almost impossible to avoid, so it's probably just as good an example as anything. Looks like the wind died down. That's good. Okay. All right. Now we Alt-0 to close the door. And for right now, I'm going to stay in this view, but we'll be changing it in a minute. So I need to do first, I need to get lined up. Back up, go forward. And I'm just kind of changing direction of my front wheels to try and line me up. So now at this point, I think I'm going to change my own orbit around the ballista, and now we're basically going to be driving backwards. So now it gets a little tricky because now I got to remember, you know, to change the direction of my wheels, and now forward is actually S instead of W. So yeah. All right, so A to turn left, which is kind of right now. And oops. Yeah, see how I did there? I was meant to go that way. There we go. Oh, hope I'm not stuck. Oh, I'm stuck on the rock. Maybe I'm not. Come on, there we go. Okay, this rock may be a little bit of a problem, but I was hoping I'd be able to be nice and straight. I wanted to go in probably at a little bit of an angle. In order to get past the rock. Like I said, it's definitely different trying to drive backwards. Gotta keep an eye on your wheels. There we go, we got it. So as like I said, there's a lot of back and forth going. Now I just go straight. It should take me right in. I'm going to change my view a little bit because I'm going to lose it when I hit those guns. And the other nice thing about being in camera view here, I can look at where the door is going to open, because you don't want to have it blocked or not have good access. So the door for this guy is right there, and it's actually, and it is on my left side, which is where the elevator is. So I don't want to like block the elevator with it. All right, how's that look? Maybe a little further. Right there. I think that is perfect. Okay. So now I just turn off the engines from in here. Or, you know, for the vehicle. And it's ready to go. So it just takes a lot of practice, you know, getting used to driving backwards. And let's grab my gun. All right. And I even leave the door open the whole time. Like, I don't close the door, I'll just leave it like this. And now we're all packed and ready to go. Awesome. So yeah, so that's pretty much what's involved with driving a vehicle in Star Citizen. Like I said, it gets a lot worse with the smaller vehicles because of the speed. For like the PTV and the STV. Mule's not as bad, and obviously the Nova tank isn't that bad at all. And the faster you go, the greater the chances you're going to hit something and flip over. And I've had instances where I flipped over and I could not right the vehicle, especially with the PTV. That happened a lot. So I would strongly urge you to be strongly suggest you be careful about avoiding anything, you know, rocks and debris or whatever. It's easier to do from camera view, and it's easier to do if you're moving at a slower speed. Even if it's open terrain, it's not open. You think it's flat, but it's not. There's going to be little crevices, and something will catch your vehicle, and you'll end up flipping it over. So, alright, well, that's it for how to drive a vehicle in Star Citizen. Thanks for watching, and have a great day. Scrapchat out.